Hey guys, I'm Zach the Movie Fan. Well, last week I talked about the original Silent Night, Deadly Night. So it only figures to end off the year by talking about the new remake. Um, this the newest remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night, came out on December 12th of this year and was directed by Mike P. Nelson. No, not the Mystery Science Theater guy. Mike P. Nelson is actually the guy who directed Sweet Revenge, that Friday the 13th kinda ad for apple cider. Which, admittedly, isn't the best vote of confidence, but whatever. Yeah. Now, I was excited for this remake from the get-go, most because of one thing, and that was the fact that the killer of the film, Billy, was going to be played by Rohan Campbell. So you may remember him for playing Corey in Halloween Ends. And this is probably where I'm going to lose a certain amount of fans of the Halloween series, but Halloween Ends is a guilty pleasure of mine. In fact, although I will say, if I had to compare the two sequels to Halloween 2018, I definitely pick Ends over Halloween Kills any day. Halloween Kills is fun, but it's also really dumb and a kind of by the numbers generic slasher film. Halloween Ends at least tries to do something very different and outside the box, and in my opinion, very clever. I really loved Rohan Campbell's performance in Halloween Ends. I actually, he did a good job playing a guy who you could see as a killer, but also one you could feel sympathy for. And considering that was like the whole appeal of Billy in the original Silent Night, Deadly Night, this was as perfect casting as you could have gotten. Yeah, and I mean, even if the movie is bad, at least we'll get a solid performance out of it. Thankfully though, this movie is not bad. Yeah, I'm just gonna get it right out the gate. I actually really liked this remake. What's interesting though is that this is actually not the first time Silent Night, Deadly Night has been remade. There actually was another remake all the way back in 2012 called Silent Night. And it was a very loose remake from what I hear. Um, instead, instead of following the killer and showing us how he came to be, it instead was more of a slasher murder mystery kind of film. Although I will admit I would like to check out the 2012 film because it does sound legit interesting. But yeah, by comparison, this new remake definitely shares a lot more in common with the original compared to that remake, but also still pretty different at the same time. The one thing that is similar to the original, is Billy's backstory. In fact, the remake, yeah, spoilers, right out the gate, because it's impossible to talk about what really works about this film, in my opinion, without getting into spoilers. But yeah, the movie literally begins with the exact same with the how the original Silent Night Deadly Night ends, with Billy's parents going to see their grandfather, um, and his parents end up getting killed by a crazy guy dressed as Santa. But here's where the movie really shifts gears. Instead of showing us Billy's progression, at that moment, the movie then flashed forwards to Billy, now an adult, and revealing that he's actually already been a killer Santa for a while now. Um, yeah, so Billy decides to head to a small town called Hackett, and it's there that he gets a job at a Christmas ornament store, decoration store, and it's there they meets a woman named Pamela, and the two seem to hit it off pretty well. And Billy starts to think back and forth on wanting to give up the Killer Santa thing to start a stable life, or if this whole relationship is just a lost cause. One thing I really liked about this movie right off the bat is I do appreciate that this movie, by compared to the original, it tries to go for a bit more of a light-hearted tone, if that makes sense. That's probably not the right word. I think the more proper terminology is to say it tries to have more of a dark, twisted sense of humor. I mean, you can still take the story seriously, it's not like a full-on comedy, but the movie does have a little bit more fun with the idea of a killer Santa compared to the original. While also still, like, telling its own unique story. The one new addition that I loved with Billy's character was, he has, like, another voice in his head. There's this guy who was, like, always talking to Billy in his head, and this guy basically tells Billy who to go after next. I loved this. I'm a sucker for characters who have, like, a voice in their head or an alternate personality, because I find those characters very fascinating. When they're done right, you get fascinating characters. Characters like Norman Bates, or James McAvoy's character in Split. I can't remember the guy's name. It's been years since I've seen Split. But, like, I find characters like that very fascinating. Like, the idea of, like, jumping between, like, these different personalities or having another voice in their head. It's like, you really do a lot with that. So I loved this new addition, and the way, like, the way the guy doing this voice, the way he bounces off Rohan, it's really good. The two bounce off each other really well. I do like, too, that the movie does hold an element of mystery. The movie doesn't really specifically say if Billy is, like, a good person or not. It always kind of keeps you guessing. Like, is he just a psychotic killer, or is there more going on? The first person we see him kill in the movie is this old man, and this old man kind of looks like he's putting the moves on Pamela a bit, and later on at night, Billy breaks into the old man's house and kills him. So you're like, oh, I guess he just did that because he was jealous or something. But then the next person he goes after, I shit you not, this actually happens. The next person he goes after is a white supremacist lady who's holding a white supremacist Christmas party, complete with swastika flags. I cannot make this shit up. Like, Billy was after one person, and suddenly came across an army of evil people. Like, again, this movie does have a bit of a dark, twisted sense of humor, and I do love it. I especially love, too, like, after Billy sees this, he goes back to the car to retrieve his axe, and the voice in his head is like, alright, so what's the plan, kid? And Billy's like, we're gonna kill them all. Wait, what? Whoa, hey! I mean, don't you think you're jumping the gun a bit? No. At least carry a gun or something. Fuck that. I just love that, I just love that, because this voice in Billy's head is, he's kind of supposed to be, like, the crazy side of him, and yet the crazy side is telling Billy to stop. Yeah, and then, halfway through the movie, the movie does reveal that the people Billy goes after are bad people, like evil people. There's that. We actually find out that the old man that Billy killed, he actually, he actually was a wife killer. He apparently killed his wife years ago and buried her body in his basement. And it's like, oh, so I guess Billy's more of an anti-hero? But there also leaves, like, these other questions. Like, did Billy know that that guy was, like, was a wife killer? If he did, how? Like, and the movie does keep a lot of that a mystery, and it does keep you intrigued. Yeah, the acting in the film is fantastic all around, especially from Rohan Campbell as Billy. Like I said, you couldn't have gotten a better actor to have played this character, and he does not disappoint. He plays it perfectly. I also do like, too, that they actually do add a lot more depth to characters from the original. Like Pamela. Pamela in the original was this woman at the store Billy worked at. It kind of seemed like he had a bit of a crush on her, but that ultimately really didn't go anywhere, and Billy just ended up killing her in the original. But in the remake, they actually really start to get to know one another. And find out that Pamela's also kind of crazy. She kind of like has this issue where like she has this really bad temper and just explodes at random. Like there's a great scene where she's going to like her nephew's hockey game, and she sees like two kids bullying her nephew. So her response is to go onto the rink, grab a hockey stick, and beat the fuck out of the bullies. And she actually gets herself arrested. And I love too that right when Pamela is about to attack the coach, Billy like stops her. Like again, there's some really good smart there's a really good smart sense of humor in this entire film. It's actually what gives like the two Billy and Pamela actually a lot more chemistry here. They really do get to know each other here, and because they're both both crazy in their own way, it's turns into a little bit of a twisted but a fun relationship to see develop. You're honestly wondering, okay, where is this gonna go? Is she going to like completely flip out or call Billy crazy if he tells her the truth, or is she going to be all on board with it? Um like it's interesting. There are even moments between them that feel cute and even heartwarming, which that's weird to say in a Silent Night Deadly Night movie. Although, yes, this is still Silent Night, Deadly Night, so how are the kills? Pretty fun. I mean, are they the most creative kills ever? No. I mean, this definitely isn't going to be on par with something like the Terrifier movies. But honestly, I'm not a very hard person to please. So long as you don't use fake CGI blood, I'm not gonna complain. The kill, and the blood and gore makeup effects look awesome in this. And it is fun. Seriously, the scene of Billy just cutting loose at like the white supremacist Christmas party. That scene was awesome, and it's worth going to see the movie alone. Holy shit, there were a lot of bodies. I also like too that the movie does do references, callbacks, and Easter eggs to the orig to the original Silent Night Deadly Night, but it doesn't take up like the entire film. Like they're subtle and they're not distracting. And that's usually like kind of a hard and that's usually something that a lot of films, whether it be a reboot or a sequel, they just really don't seem to get. There are just sometimes where the callbacks are a little bit too overboard and a little cringy. A lot of people kind of had that issue with Alien Romulus. You won't really have that problem here. Like, these Easter eggs aren't like obnoxious or shoved down your throat, and they're nice, fun references. They even managed to throw in a Garbage Day reference, which, I mean, I was expecting it, but I will admit the way it came in and just how it left was humorous. Yeah, and then there was um yeah, and then there was like the huge gear shift this movie made towards the end. So yeah, going into full spoiler territory for the rest of it. So if you don't want anything else spoiled, really stop the video here. Okay, so it's revealed that there's this guy in the town who's kidnapping children, and everybody has been calling him the Snatcher. Um, apparent, but yeah, apparently Pamela's dad, who owns the Christmas decoration store Billy and Pam work at, he finds the Snatcher's car and tries to free a kid, but the Snatcher kills him. Pamela tells Billy that all she wants for Christmas is for the man responsible dead. And Billy decides to try and grant her wish by finally telling her the truth. And it's here that we get the whole gaps on Billy's backstory are finally filled in, and holy shit, it was going in a direction I was not expecting. So, the movie flashes back to the crazed Santa killing Billy's parents. We find out that the guy dressed up as Santa was actually a janitor working at the old folks' home where Billy's granddad was. Billy's mother had stabbed him in the throat with her high heels before she died. And Billy, for some mysterious reason, got out of the car and grabbed the guy's hands. And this is where it gets supernatural. So, apparently, we find out that guy's name was Charlie, and he's actually the voice in Billy's head. So yeah, it wasn't an alternate personality, it was someone's soul? Or something? So apparently, like, this is like a curse or something that's passed down from person to person. Where someone goes after awful people around Christmas time. How does Billy know that they're awful people? Charlie shows him. Charlie has the ability to pretty much glimpse into all the people's heads and see if they are naughty or nice. Get it? Charlie actually shows Billy all the awful things that they did too. And Billy's just kind of been doing this ever since then. While Charlie has been kind of helping him teach him the ropes, like a demented father of sorts. In fact, the movie actually reveals that Billy's parents were awful people. You see, in this version, Billy's grandfather actually died after Billy saw him, and it was because his parents poisoned him so that they could collect his inheritance. Wow. Okay. So yeah, out of nowhere, the movie decides to add a supernatural angle, and yes, it is weird. But I kinda love it. I mean, it's so random and out of nowhere, it's kind of hilarious, but the way it fills in the gaps, it does all make sense. And it is very interesting. Like, when they revealed all this backstory, I was wondering, how long has this curse been going on for? Since the very origins of Santa? How does this... why does this power work like this? Where did it come from? Is it like, did it come from like an eldritch god or something like that? Was this a demented spell crafted by Krampus or something? Like, it really is, like, very fascinating. Honestly, if they ever decide to make a sequel to this, I would love if they dive into the history of this curse a lot more. Yeah. This is also, however, where the movie does kind of start to lose me a bit. So, like I said, Billy tells Pamela all this as they're on their way to take down the Snatcher. Which, I know that Dr. Wolfula brought this up in his video, but I do agree. Wasn't like taking down the Snatcher like goal one the moment Billy first heard about him? Yeah, but the bigger problem here is that we know nothing about this guy, and they just suddenly bring him in as like the real villain of the film, but we've barely gotten to know the guy. All we know about him is that he's just pretty much a ripoff of the Grabber from the Black Phone. Just the only difference is that he wears a Santa mask. And hell, even when he gets killed off, we don't learn who the fuck he was. However, this is a revelation that I actually called happening. So Billy kills the Snatcher, and they manage to save all the kids too. However, Billy gets pretty badly injured. So while he tries to grab the car, Pamela's asshole ex-boyfriend, who's a cop, shows up and shoots and kills Billy. In Billy's dying moments, he grabs Pamela's hand, and the curse is transferred onto her. And when Pamela looks up at her asshole ex, she sees that he was actually helping the Snatcher the whole time, and was actually drugging and kidnapping kids. Her response is biting the fucker's nose and killing him with Billy's axe. And now that the curse has been passed on to her, now Billy's voice is in her head. And the movie ends insinuating that that Pamela's going to be keeping the Santa killer tradition alive. Which, by the way, is another reason why I would really like a sequel. I really like Pamela a lot, and considering how much fun she is when she loses her shit, I would love to see a sequel where she takes over as a killer Santa. That would be awesome. Like, seriously, I would love to see more of this actress in this role. But yeah, overall, this remake of Silent Night Deadly Night I thought was a ton of fun. It took the original film's concept and added a very different, unique spin on it that, while very bizarre, actually kind of works in my opinion. I actually think the supernatural angle actually adds a lot more depth, a lot more intrigue to the film. Like, again, if they ever decide to make a sequel, I would be interested to see how they dive into that. I'd give the film an A+. This is a really good film, a great remake. I highly recommend it. It's such a fun time. Which is better, though? The remake. Yeah, I'm sorry. As much as I liked the original, this movie just has a lot more fun, and I had more fun with it. I still like the original, but if I had to pick between the two, I'd definitely pick this remake. But that's just my opinion. I'm actually curious if there are other Silent Night Deadly Night fans out there who feel the same way or have a different opinion. Let me know down in the comments. I say that as if I get any comments on these videos. So yeah, the remake of Silent Night Deadly Night. Have you guys seen it? What did you guys think about it? Let me know down in the comments below. Before I end this video, though, I just want to say something. Thank you, guys. I genuinely mean it. This has been a hellish year. I've gone through really, really bad stuff this year that really took a toll on my sanity. But no matter how miserable or unmotivated I was, doing these videos and getting feedback, seeing how many views they got, even if it's very small, it is enough. It really did help me get through a lot. Knowing that I'm making videos that people are watching, even if it's a small audience, and the people like these videos and all that, like, that's a very special feeling. It's very nice that I can bring some intrigue or some depth or just some fun into people's lives. Like, it feels really good. Thank you, guys. Like, what you guys have done for this channel, it's honestly crazy. Like, I think when I first started making videos again, I think I was at 24 subscribers. You guys made that jump up to 36. I recently made a short video ranting about Square Enix. That video has 1,000 views. I was dumbstruck. I know that the short videos actually get more views than my regular videos, but holy shit. I am so grateful. Thank you guys so much. I look forward to continuing to make these videos come next year. Thank you all for watching, and all of you have a wonderful, happy new year. See ya.